Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. Speaking of hair, you see, I got my hair did since the last time you seen me. What's happening? What's happening, good people? You guys know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, a.k.a. Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct from the Reverend Society Hair Salon, and y'all know who that is right there, right? It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. I know y'all like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? We have a really, really, really good podcast tonight. But before we get into the podcast, I was talking to Cheryl earlier on our podcast, in case you guys is not aware that Mr. Tito Jackson passed away. I don't know, was it today or yesterday, but I was gonna miss me some Tito. You know, remember when what's his name? Chris Rock was like, Tito, pass me the tissue. I miss Tito Jackson with the guitar, and he seemed to be like the really like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm serious about my music. You know, I really like Tito Jackson. Real serious. Yeah, like his persona was like, you know, I'm not an entertainer. You know, I'm a musician. So, so blessings and to their family. Our condolences. I don't know Michael Jackson's family, but I am surely Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 fan. So, you know, that was his big brother, and you know, so we're gonna miss Tito Jackson. All right. So this is our 124th episode, and so tonight you are in for a royal treat. We're gonna take a deep dive into the C.R.O.W.N Act, and you know, just kind of discussing, you know, our angst about it. We're going to pull it up, you know, here, right here on the podcast. We're going to talk about this C.R.O.W.N Act. And I think the way, like the slant on the natural hair, the conversations are like almost always the same, no matter which channel you go on, be it TV or social media, even in print, which I hope we can talk about that too. Yeah. And so we need to have like a different, I don't want to say another, but a different conversation about this C.R.O.W.N Act. And it's really hard to talk about because there's so many emotions, you know, caught up in the C.R.O.W.N Act. And so we're not against the C.R.O.W.N Act, but we just want you guys to stick around. And Cheryl is going to really answer some really tough questions about what's wrong with it. And of course, what we can do about it, because after all, Cheryl, right? If you ain't part of the solution, you're part of the what?
Yeah, absolutely. You're part of the difficulty.
See? Something different. I thought she was going to say part of the problem, but you're part of the difficulty. Before we get into our song, what's happening over in sunny San Diego, California?
At least it's sunny. It's cool. It's creeping into fall, and yeah, that heat.
Did you do anything like smashing over the weekend?
Besides us, no.
Now, oh man, Cleveland had a Fresh Fest, and I went. Oh man, Big Daddy Kane was there, and he was fire. When we were leaving out, the barbers was like, why y'all going to see Big Daddy Kane? Like, we didn't know anything about Big Daddy Kane. I said, anybody who spits a bar put a quarter in your ass because you played yourself. That's my ninja right there. If you like Big Daddy Kane, put the BDK in the chat because Big Daddy Kane.
Raw.
Oh yeah, he is raw. He just came off the. He came out the mic. Yeah.
Did he do?
Yeah, that was his first song. That was his first song, and you definitely had some Big Daddy Kane's fans in the audience. Also, there was a gentleman there selling T-shirts, so I got me a funky dope, Biggie Smalls. I love hip hop. I am truly a hip hop head. You're a disco queen, so yes. I'm still shocked that you like disco. But I thought you was a jazz aficionado. Not that you don't, but Cheryl said, yeah, Cheryl says she likes disco, which I'm totally shocked. What's up, LB is in the chat. So glad to see you. What's up, everybody over on Instagram? The King of Rock. We hope you can join in on this discussion. And so stick around. We would love to hear some of your comments about what you think you would like to see in the C.R.O.W.N Act, or do you like it as the way that it is? But in the meantime, let's get ready to play our official sound. I was going to say soundtrack. Our official theme song. We might have to get us another song, but not for a while, okay? For now, we are going to listen to Sister Rachel Evans, and the name of this track is Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. It is available on all of your musical downloads, so make sure you download it, and we are for the indie artists, so please make sure you support Miss Sister Rachel Evans, and the name of this song is called Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. Here we go, guys. Hey, y'all know this my jam right here. Gotta do my hair. Hey, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. That's right. Come on, share the live. I know some of y'all friends got something to say about that C.R.O.W.N Act. Hey. Respectful, very special. I'll be so very happy if you will let me do your hair. Ooh, let me do your hair. Let me do your hair. Come on in and let Cheryl and I do your hair. We ain't gonna hurt you. Come on in. Survivor of what you can do. Heartache and struggle. Won't get the best of you. I'll be too to help you. I'll be so very happy if you will let me do your. Come on, let us do your hair. We gonna hook y'all up. And let me do your hair. And let me do your hair. Let me do your hair. Look at Cheryl all like. Come on. Here got a sexy saxophone. uh, let me do your hair. Ooh, let me do your hair. Let me do your hair. Hey. This show's favorite part right here. The sexy, sexy saxophone. All right. Hey, all right. That's Cheryl's favorite part because it reminds us both of the old school days when they had the armrest in the middle of the car. That's when cars were made of steel. And you had your little gangster lane, a little diamond in the back, a real antenna that you couldn't go through the car wash. You got the good old days. But you know what they say? We're not going back. We are not going. Not you backing up. She clowning y'all. What y'all know about that backup? You know what they know about that little camera in the middle? I would tell y'all the truth. I don't use that camera. I'm like, sure, I'm about to turn around. I'm going to whip that sucker. I'm going to get on in there. I ain't using that old stupid backup camera. And plus, it's got that little thing in the back, right? And it tells you, if you're in the range, right, that you're too close. And I'll be bagging into stuff any old kind of way. So, yeah, I'm kind of slow like that. But that's what y'all young folks like. So go right on ahead. Go right on ahead. But tonight, again, this is our 124th episode. And we're going to, hop right into the discussion. And it is all about the C.R.O.W.N Act. So what I would like to do, Cheryl, to get the conversation going. Now, of course, if you guys have any questions, any comments, our podcast is very interactive. The name of the podcast, of course, is The Dumbest Shh That People Say About Black Hair. And we think the C.R.O.W.N Act has some very interesting points in there, but a lot of my concern about the C.R.O.W.N Act is actually some of the dumbest shh that people say about Black hair. And so now these are opinions, which are like cell phones, so everybody has one. So welcome to everybody that's on Facebook who's rocking it out with us. And then hello to everybody on LinkedIn Live. We appreciate the LinkedIn people who like to take a peek at us just a little bit. And of course, the YouTube people, wonderful people such as Luana. And then over on Instagram, we got the King of Lock and a couple of other people who are checking us out. And so what I'm going to do, Cheryl, number one, is let's just talk about off the rip. What was your thought about the C.R.O.W.N Act, like when you first heard that they were going to introduce a bill to end hair discrimination here in the United States, but it was going to have to be done, one state at a time at that point, you know what I'm saying? So what was your thoughts when you first heard? And I think Gavin Newsom was like the first. Was he the first? Okay. So California would be the first. So what was your opinion when you first heard that the C.R.O.W.N Act either was going to be introduced and or passed?
I wasn't concerned with the passing. I was concerned with the committee of who arranged and wrote the bill, because the committee, in my opinion, did not look appropriate to deal with what they were trying to do. And so I was worried about where the intelligence, the history, and the bulk of the information that was used to form the bill. And so That was my first initial. I mean, because this is, my space. This is our space. The beauty industry is, of course, that particular bill should have come out of, I think, hair care as a whole. The industrial complex should have been heavily involved, but it came out of, I think, the political, and the committee was very heavily political and corporate money.
Okay. Okay, that's your stance. Now, here's my concerns that I had about the Crown Act. Number one, the whole
Initially.
I mean, when I first heard about it, was like a little commercial, and they showed the little girl sitting at her desk, and because anywho, and the first thing that jumped out was the whole natural hairstyles. So something about that really alarmed me, because when you look at these styles, like the braids and the locks and all of that, like that ain't how your hair grow out of your scalp. So I thought that was going to be a problem because of just the term natural hairstyles. I still, I don't know, that just kind of bothers me still to this day. So yeah, so that's a number one. Number two, it didn't seem to include men. I think men came later, but initially I was like, I don't know. Men and boys, I'm sorry. So males, how about we just say males? And then number three, I'm just going to be honest. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I am an activist. I have been involved in a lot of legislative process, here in Ohio and some other states here in America. And I'm just going to be honest. My third concern was I just did not think that bill was going to be enforceable. Because I know that and I'm an employer, and I don't have those kinds of restrictions, but I do want people who work, who represent, I don't like to say work for, because ain't nobody working for me. Okay. But people who represent the Reverend Design Team Hair Salon, I would like a certain image. Okay. I would. And so I think employers should have the right to how they want their company, their brand to be represented, be it uniform or not. I mean, it ain't that serious over here, RDT. But I do think employers, because your brand speaks in ways professionally that doesn't, your personal, representation. So those were my top three concerns about the Crown Act. Now, if you have some concerns about the Crown Act, by all means, please go ahead on and just drop this as a candid discussion. And we just want to go there, because what we're doing right now is we're having a different conversation about the Crown Act. And of course, like Cheryl said, we don't want to add to the difficulty. And so this is where we're at. So please feel free, add your comments in the chat, but that's my off the rip. I like the concept. I do. Because people were and still are having issues with employment because of a hairstyle, and that ain't never acceptable by no means. But on the same token, I think we can find a happy medium, and I still struggle with that whole term natural hairstyles.
Well, first, it doesn't address the constitutional issues. It doesn't address, it just only addresses the spirit of Black culture. It doesn't deal with us officially being included constitutionally, and then dealing with the fact that dress codes need reform. It needs reform because gender-based keeps boys and males and men out of a hairstyle range past length. The length is still akin to girls or females, right? And so that is the one of the problems. The C.R.O.W.N Act, it just doesn't address dress codes. Then they created a codified kind of language that did not exist called a natural hairstyle.
So let's start with those two things, okay? Let's start with the language, and then let's start with the codified hairstyles, okay? So for me, the language of natural hair, I'm like, I don't know. And if, I know what you guys are saying. Well, what you trying to say, Key Lolo? You know, see, I mean, to me, you know, as a cosmetologist, if it grows from your scalp, it's natural. That let's just start right there. That's just this is a different conversation. I mean, I'm getting a little.
And for the sake of the conversation, it is biological matter. It's like your nose, like your eyebrows, your eyelashes.
Right. So it's growing from the scalp, and so then the hairstyles, like the braids and the twist and the locks or whatever, that ain't natural.
Well, so here's the thing. Let's say if the young man, Mr. Darrell, in the state of Texas, what if his locks were short? Would we even be here talking about, I mean, if there would have been no need for a C.R.O.W.N Act?
Meaning?
If his locks were above the length requirement, there's no need to, if you meet the dress code, okay, we didn't have any time in history where you came to school in the 60s and 70s where a teacher said, excuse me, your afro is too big. Can you trim that down a little bit? Because the ears and the neck is the focus point of any dress code, right? So there wasn't black people in the 60s and 70s trimming down their afro because it was too high. It was too wide. And one of the things that when, you know, and I don't actually, as a cosmetologist and as a legacy family in black hair care, I'm embarrassed that we even wrote something that is going to allow thousands of black families to waste their money with lawyers. And as you would say, and as you stated first, one of your three concerns, it's not enforceable. Because dress code.
Can you back up? Can you back up just a wee bit? When you said that you didn't understand, like in the, you know, like in the 70s and the 60s, even the 80s, you know, people wore this big hair. Where are you going with the hair and the length of the locks? I'm kind of clear that up. What do you mean by that? The length and the bigness of the hair back then compared to now, and how they're using that. Where's the disconnect for you with the language?
Because the language in most dress codes are below. They always they don't say above, right? They say if it falls below, then you're out of the dress code.
So now you're talking about the dress code, okay? Now, is the C.R.O.W.N Act specifically addressing?
It's always language. It's always linguistics. So if we have worn natural hair before in workplace, corporate America, banks, schools, work, we've done that. We were stewardesses on airplanes. We wore natural hair, and Oprah started with natural hair. She started with an afro. Okay. The length requirement only comes in when it comes what we call below. Okay. So when we wrote it, we did not consider the impediments of two places, the workplace dress code and the school dress code. We wrote it for the hairstyle in and of itself called something in a movement that's been new since 1999 or 2000 season, what we call Y2K. It's a colloquial term called natural hair or natural hair styles. Then we went even further and then said that it was a protective hairstyle because that's usually the choices of when we use these Afrocentric options called locks, braids, and I think they have included afros. Afros shouldn't belong in there because, of course, that's immutable. That actually does fall under constitutional First Amendment. Now, the key here is that they were trying to make a movement fit inside of making workplaces accommodate the locks and accommodate the braids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in doing that, they called it a protective hairstyle. Problem is when they wrote it and they decided to use that language, it excluded males. Because men do not wear protective hairstyles. They're not protecting their hair from something, right? And the courts have said it explicitly. We don't care what your ass is protecting your hair from. The workplace and the learning institution has a right to a dress code.
So let's pause right there. Did the C.R.O.W.N Act address those two aspects of dress code for work and dress code for the workplace?
Your question again, say it again.
Did the C.R.O.W.N Act and its writing, did they address the workplace dress code and the school dress code? Or did they just address the hair styles?
They addressed race-based discrimination. That's what they dealt with. And what is also problematical, and maybe the original sponsors, and maybe the House of the Assembly in the state of California, maybe even the governor, maybe even attorneys, maybe they did not realize that all races of people wear locks and wears braids. Maybe they didn't know that. I don't know. But when they made it a race thing instead of a constitutional thing, okay. But on the side of that, we needed to give HR, principals, and boards of education options and nuance moving forward, new futuristic ways of allowing these Americans that choose locks and choose braids and choose afros or whatever the case may be to be able to meet the dress code without an unfair burden, without having to alter their hair permanently, even while they're not at school or they're not on campus or they're not in the workplace. That is forwardness. That would have been new. That would have been new and improved.
All right, so let me interject there. So right here, we look at some of the things that they're saying, right? Black women with coily textured hair are 2 times as likely to experience microaggressions. They've been sent home from work. Nearly half of them feel pressure to straighten their hair when they have a headshot. So as we listen to what you're saying, these statistics say, all right, smarty pants Cheryl and smarty pants Ladosha, we tried that. But look what happened. We got sent home. We were told our hairstyles were unprofessional. We didn't even get the job, and we had to change our hairstyles for these headshots. So before they even got a chance to talk to HR, to get a chance to talk to the judge, they were already saying, "Shoo, shoo, 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 go away." So where would that Crown Act and that, why couldn't it work in that space?
Well. One, when you create, let's just say this: when Black people have a tendency to create an other, trying to go back and deal with constitutional rights or natural rights or alienable rights, we feel that we have to make other cases or create other avenues that will create a statutory right to do something.
Like, what that mean? What that mean? What that mean? Break that
means down. That we will say choice versus need. We need to do this because it's a protective hairstyle. Instead of going into the marketplace of the courts and saying that this is a constitutional right.
Choice.
Right, a
to
choice.
Choose. Light bulb.
Then go into the old-fashioned, outdated gender norms. We only have a length requirement for boys. It's the boys that are getting in the issues. It's not the girls. The girls may be getting what we call unprofessional because, of course, we have not been able to move the chains constitutionally. So we are still under the premise that in order to look or be accepted, because here's the thing. We understand that their hairstyle choice, right, is has nothing to do with their qualifications. So the person hiring them at the point knows they're qualified, but they feel because it's really not, or the United States or the Western world, the United States, they're not accustomed to bending their norms or standards around your choice. So what they say, you're qualified. But so they're putting your livelihood up against, you can just make a choice to eat, have a job, take care of your family, or just change your hair. So we can look more, you can look more like us. Or you don't necessarily have to change it, just change it and alter it and fix it and do this and do that. Well, at that point, the workforce becomes a little more palatable. The schools, however, right, they are sticking and double downing on. They're double down. They're going to double down on their length requirement because they have the gender norm in there, because they feel that boys should have short hair. All of this is just outdated. Now, to bring it back around to Project 2025, and this is what it means to be a conservative, Black people. This is what it means to be a conservative. Instead of adjusting and understanding that things move forward, things are outdated, things are out of touch, things are, it no longer applies. Instead of changing that, what a conservative does is says, nope, I'm conserving the past. I'm conserving it. I'm conserving that fact that boys should not have long hair. Now, because long hair only looks good and appropriate for women because men are dictating what is attractive and what is masculine, what is this, what is that, what is this, what is that, what is this, and what is that. And instead of us understanding that the C.R.O.W.N Act is not running into, at least so far, not running into cultural issues, is running into dress code, legislative, constitutional rights for institutions and workplaces to have dress codes. And
okay, so let's pause. Let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. You're moving a little bit too fast, okay? Because this is saying that the C.R.O.W.N Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, is a law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination, which is the denial of employment and educational opportunities because of hair texture or protective hairstyles, including braids, lock, twist, or bantu knots. So you're saying this this mission right here, this purpose statement, is in direct opposite of the right for that employer and that school to say, this is what we're trying to quote unquote conserve, keep in place, is how professionalism is defined. And again, your male, female images in the school. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And so, with that being said, if the C.R.O.W.N Act was to include is a law that prohibits or addresses the workplace and school dress codes, right? That prohibits.
No, what I get, what, right. One, we have to fix the race base. It's not race.
So and you don't do and you're saying it's not race based because white people wear these hairstyles too.
Right. And
are they firing white people?
And that dress code and that school would have made that boy cut his hair regardless if he was Mexican, white, Indian, Native American, or Filipino.
So you think if this was a white kid with locks, he would have got treated the same way?
Yeah, because it's a length thing, not a race thing. Because when they went to court, the judge didn't have any wiggle room because the C.R.O.W.N Act does not deal with it falls short on restrictive policies dealing with length and color.
Now the gentleman said, well, judge, come on now, judge. You can't have a braid, a lock, a twist, or a bantu knot without any length. So they said that was implied. They felt the judge should have, that's just a given. And what do you say?
Well, let's just go with the acronym. Creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. Who the fuck falls under that? Who falls under natural hair?
Everybody.
That's number one. Two, I don't give a shit about your respect. I give a shit like Jane Elliott, one of the best educators in the country on this subject. We have to get out of respect. I don't want your respect. I want my constitutional protections because I'm an American. I don't give a shit about your respect.
So you're saying, so we're kind of foo frilly here. We're trying to polish you pretty here. So when you get to creating a respectful, we're out of the Constitution.
Well, you're not, we'll put it this way. Why would I care if a learning institution or a corporation, company, job respect my hair because I have a protective hairstyle that happens to be akin more times than not to Afrocentric people, or may come out of the continent of Africa. As an American, why do I give a shit about that? But I do not push the statutory levels on being constitutionally protected. Why am I not dealing with my totality of my choice? And if as a boy, if my hair falls, but why don't I deal with constitutional protections instead of asking states for respect of a protective hairstyle? I don't understand that. And if you understood how Black people started and was dealt with on the state and federal level, leaving the plantation, you wouldn't write stupid bills like this.
So
and it's not a personal attack on the people.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
It's just the fact that, it's almost like this old saying, we are writing and trying to amend and reverse 400 years without a comb, and 400, and that's what it means, 400 years without having the choice to have the way we look and feel that is commiserate with our well-being, our persona and self-image and self-worth, right? We don't want to fuck around and find out here. So we've got to write bills that are, one, commiserate with our historical relationship with the federal government.
Yeah. I think that when you go into the Project 2025, which, oh man, let me go. And I think, because we got to kind of, now we are going to go into Project 2025 next week, which I think is just really going to be powerful. But let's just say, to your point about the language, I'm just trying to find that first page here where they come out the gate like harder than hard, not one bit soft. I mean, this. Let me find it. Let me just find it. Right, this is actually in the forward, in the very first. Just going back to your point, let me just pull this up right quick. Hold on. Here we go. Present. So I'm going to share my screen. So here we go. We're on Project 2025. And so here they just come out the gate. The Heritage Foundation is proud to have played a small but pivotal role. So they're giving you, this whole thing. And they said, we brought together hundreds of conservative scholars and academics across the conservative movement to create this handbook about this dysfunction in Washington. And then they tell you it was a promise from the conservative movement to the country to be confident and specifically clear, right? However, okay, when we look at the C.R.O.W.N Act, we went real soft with respect. But when you look at something, and I don't think the people who wrote the C.R.O.W.N Act realized that a doctrine like Project 2025 this thing has been around. It says since 1979.
Ronald Reagan ran on it.
The language is very strong, which is what you're speaking to, as opposed, because the language is very, they're moving into that Constitution. They're going to go right into that. Whereas the C.R.O.W.N Act, we went soft. Where are our scholars in that doctrine? You got the legal scholars, but they still chose a very soft term like creating a respectful. These people right here, we brought together hundreds. That Heritage launched the mandate for a leadership project. They pointed out, they just shot Jimmy Carter straight down. We have no strong language like that. It like a counterpoise,
and in the and in the coming out of, and let me just say this, in this idea that conservative, especially dealing with the election that we have now, for some reason, certain pockets of our community that, of course, this will affect no matter what. This is going to go bipartisan, people. So if you think that you're going to, in somehow, be protected because you're a conservative, you are not going to conserve that nappy ass afro. If you decide to wear locks with your conservative ass, it ain't going to help you, because the moment that job or that gig or that corporation does not understand and does not care about diversity, because conservatism is to preserve the past, the way things were. That is what conservation is about.
Yeah.
To make a difference of what your policy, your personal politics are. At the end of the day, the liberalism of most Democrats are saying, okay, this is a no-brainer. Diversity is here. Let's accommodate and make workplaces happier and more accommodating and more flexible and more sensitive. And let's just allow people to have their identities. It's better for workforce morale. It's better for workforce energy. It's better that other people learn from other types of people. And that's what the Democrats or libertarians have been about.
Right.
Conservatives don't give a shit about that.
Right. So again, in case you are just scrolling through or dropping in, you want to hang around with us. We are on our 124th episode. We're having a different discussion. We're talking about what's wrong with the C.R.O.W.N Act. And so far, we've already revealed that first and foremost, Cheryl and I, we both have problems with the language. Okay. I've made it clear I do not like the term natural hair. Cheryl is over the word respect, which that just, and so the problem that we're having with the language in the C.R.O.W.N Act is that it's too soft. You're talking about, like, at first I overlooked respect. I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. I missed that because, we kind of like that. You're going to respect me. You're going to put some respect on my name. Put a handle on it. Miss, that's Miss Ladosha. That's aunt. Like that kind of thing. That's cultural stuff, right? But when you look at the people who are making these policies in America, Cheryl is saying they don't care about respect. They don't care about respecting your hair. They are conservatives, and they are trying to conserve the past. Here it is in the manifesto. This is a mandate. You hear what I'm saying? For leadership.
Mandate for leadership. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they're saying right here, to your point, Cheryl, the conservative promise is the opening salvo. Look at the language they're using for this presidential transition. It's by the Heritage Foundation, and that it is just as important as the scope of the conservative promises. Recommendations is the breadth of its authorship. So they went out, and there it is. This book is a product of more than 400 scholars. All of the sources in this manifesto or this mandate or whatever they want to call it is their very own scholars, which already know. I did a little digging, okay? They received some government assistance too, which I was like, anywho, we digress. But we got to understand that if you're going to write a piece of law to help make something happen for a certain sect or group of people, you have to come much stronger. These people are very staunch. They're very clear. If we go back, okay, I'm going to stop sharing, right? I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull up. I got to pull up the C.R.O.W.N Act, and you'll see what we're talking about when we say that this stuff that they're presenting is very, what you call it, soft, wet, and what? pink.
Soft, wet, and pink.
Soft, wet, and pink now. All right. What's up, Weekay? What's up, Dewey? What's up, everybody over on Instagram? Yeah, this is a really tough one. And this grown folks talk right here. We ain't trying to be respectful. We're really trying to irritate you, to really get you guys to think about what Cheryl is saying, which I will be honest. I didn't see creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, because Cheryl is saying, who cares about respect when you have a constitution that these people are using to beat our butts with, and we're not even looking over it. Let's go back over a law that prohibits. Okay, they want to stop race-based hair discrimination. What is hair discrimination? I would like to know.
Well. First of all, once you make it race-based, then you give the codified credence to something called hair discrimination. Okay, and I will always tell you guys there is no such thing as hair discrimination. No one is discriminating because you got hair and telling you that when you shave it off, come back to work. We bald over here. We don't do that. So if you come in with hair, come with it clean, because hair is nasty and things get in it, and we don't want hair around here. The most you can do is a wig, because we know, you know what I mean? And it got to be synthetic, because we don't want no gnats, lice. We don't want nothing. We don't want no parts of hair. So when you can get the job, but you got to shave that off, that would be hair discrimination. That would be hair discrimination. And let me just say this.
So let's pause. So when they tell them they can't come to work with like hers, the locks over here and the locks right there.
I don't know.
So let's say like this natural hairstyle here.
No, your screen is not full. It's cut off.
Okay, let me see here.
Yeah, your screen is cut off.
So let's just take. Whoops, I want to go back to that. Hold on, let me go back.
It sees a bunch of writing, and then the people are like about this small.
All right, let me go back here. Present. So I want to just go back to that language again. Thank you, Kafele. He says they can't see us over on Instagram. Okay, here they go. Here the people are. Can you see them now?
A little better. Mm-hmm.
Let's go up. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So now let me enlarge it. All right. How's that? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I just want to make sure. So when they're talking about discrimination, right, and you're saying that they're not telling them to cut it off. So if they said you can't come to work with these twists, these braids, and these locks, that's not hair discrimination?
No.
What is that?
That is Afrophobia. Because you wouldn't tell Kim Kardashian to do that. You would only tell a black person with that on it. You wouldn't tell. See, it's race. See, they. And let me just say this. I'm not saying we don't have a history of this, because we do. It is class. If anything, it's class based. Okay. Now, what I would like Mr. Kafele to do is find what it says, hair discrimination. Find it and tell me what it is.
So you want us to look up hair discrimination right quick?
Right. Look up hair discrimination.
I got you, Kafele.
And read it.
All right, let me pull it up right quick. This is the Legal Defense Fund. What is hair discrimination? All right, Cheryl. I'm going to pull it up. Hold on, Kafele. I got you. Stop screen sharing. All right, here we go. All right, Cheryl, here we go. I'm going to pull it up so you can read it to you. All right. Wait, sorry. It jumped down. Sorry, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go. Let me make
This,
sure I got it.
this
Oh,
is
there
very,
it is.
and this is very
And,
important for people who figure themselves to be professors. And this is important for people who are going to legislate. This is important for politicians, for y'all to get this shit right. Okay?
all
Now,
right, so here we go, Cheryl. It says hair discrimination is
no,
rooted
no,
in.
no, 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 no.
No, you don't like that one?
Read the
Oh,
whole thing.
okay.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Okay, let me go back. Present, share screen. And that's only let me show in a portion of it, so I'll go back and and read. Okay, all right. So, what is hair discrimination?
No. What does it say at the top?
Oh, natural hair discrimination.
Now, is that what they're talking about? Because there is no such thing as natural hair discrimination. There is no such thing as hair discrimination. You just got the C.R.O.W.N Act deals with race base. So why don't they call it what it is? You can say Negro hair discrimination. You can say black folks hair discrimination. You can say Afro hair discrimination. But God damn it, they didn't say that. So there's no such thing as hair discrimination. And when you read it, it only pertains to black folks, African descendants of slaves, nappy-headed black people who are African descendants of Africans. Say what it is, but we don't say what it is. There is no such thing. No, white folks don't get no hair discrimination. Hair is hair. Y'all say it all the time, right? But it doesn't happen to just anybody. It don't happen to Indians. It don't happen to Native Americans. It don't happen to them. It happened to your black ass. It don't happen to nobody else. So when we write the laws, we did it because our asses probably couldn't get it passed. And let me just say this. When did the word natural hair or hair discrimination ever get into, verbiage? We didn't have that in 1960. 1960 was specific. It was specific. It was Afro curly hair, or it was naturally curly hair, or it was something that had an identity on it. This is ambiguous. And this is why, and I don't give a shit what nobody says about it. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what no professional hairstylist, natural hair care person, politician, God damn it, it ain't working, and those babies cannot go to school. Because we wrote a bullshit law that is not specific. Black people have worked too hard in this country for shit to be ambiguous. It's too ambiguous. And I know that at the end of the day, you get triggered. Not you, per se, Kilo.
He said, right, but he says it's the same thing. He says,
no, it's not. And guess
hold on, wait a minute.
And the judge said it wasn't.
All right, let me show another one. Let's go back. Let me just share another one. I went to the Institute for Health. All right, okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it from another angle.
Right. Let's hear it from some.
That's not legal. Yes. The person beneath the hair discrimination towards black hair is pervasive in today's society. Hair discrimination is negative bias manifested toward black natural and texture hairstyles. So Cheryl, styles typically worn by persons of African descent, which makes Cheryl 100% correct. When you say natural hair, I know what Cheryl is now saying. You are softening. You're making it soft,
of course you are,
wet, and pink. You got to call this what they say, an ace and a spade a spade. You're not talking about hair discrimination. You are talking about black people and their hair discrimination.
Right, and they teeter in between hair and style because they know one is unconstitutional and the other one is mutable. That allows dress codes to prevail and to tell your ass that you got to go back home and cut it or not cut it and define it. Now, it ain't bias. See, one of the things that y'all got to understand, bias is not against the law or illegal or unlawful. Prejudice is not illegal or unlawful. But guess what? They always blur the lines because they tell you you can come to work. You could come to this school, boy, if you only do what we tell you. So instead of us focusing on that there's only seems to be one group that is suffering and are at the mercy of dress codes and workplace discrimination. Because at the end of the day, if I give you the job, but then I tell you your choice of hairstyle can be unchosen, and you can easily be pleasing or more pleasing to my eyes and customers. In fact, I don't give a shit about my customers, because if it's pleasing to me, it will be pleasing to my customers. We're talking bullshit, okay? And what we do is we go with these real ambiguous, vague terms as if anybody with natural hair. What the hell? Everybody's got natural hair. Yeah, dogs got natural hair. Birds got natural hair. Dogs got, I mean, come on, what are we talking about?
And it says it. It says it in the end. And this is y'all people. Everybody love the National Institute of Health because after all, y'all said that they said that it caused relaxation. So that's the only reason why I pulled them up, because some people likes the NHI, but they say more work is needed to eliminate hair. Again, and the language that we're using, I think we kind of let that slip between our, I don't think it's a Freudian slip. I don't want to say that. I think that I'll drop it in the chat. I will drop the link in the chat, Kafele, if you want some of this smoke, because we ready right now. Hold on, let me put it on in the chat, because I think they think we joking out here. If you want to come on, Kafele, I will drop and anybody that wants to come on into the chat and help us out, because we know it's time for a new conversation. And we're telling you right now that language of creating a respectful and open workspace.
And while y'all at it, put in Google, what is codified language? Put it in there, because it seems to be kicking y'all asses.
Okay, I will look it up. You can click the link, Kafele. If you know your stuff, just come on in the chat. You can come on and have it with us now. Codified, if I can spell language. Codified language meaning, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me pull it up right quick, because I think this is, it gets people's goat. Here you go. I want to come. You can come on and talk to us right now. We ain't never scared. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. So here we go. Present, share the screen, because we need to have it. Stop being scared, you guys, because they're kicking our butts out here, and not these YouTube streets, but these American streets. Here you go, Cheryl.
We got to fuss it out. Okay, what does it say?
It says codified language is a language that has undergone a process of standardization, where its natural variation has been reduced and its features have become more fixed. Codified is a social process that can be influenced by new inventions.
Okay. So it's bullshit. Hair discrimination is inferred. It is implied that it deals with Black people's issues exclusively, but it does not.
And the judge said that in his ruling.
It is ambiguous. It does not deal with anything. So therefore, I'm going to what? Rule against your ass, and that boy cannot go to school.
He cannot.
I don't give a shit what y'all talking about. You black jurists, you officers of the court, can put your tail between your legs with that bad law. It does not deal with the fact that there is a length requirement and a color requirement. Your law called the C.R.O.W.N Act does not deal with that. It does not give me enough information. It does not address the restrictions of length. It does not deal with the restrictions of color. So therefore, bye. Good luck.
Right. You made it, right? When you said, that's why I said y'all should have came to the Hairstyles and we would have told y'all, don't say natural hair. I was like, why would y'all say that? In the codified language, right? It's telling you, it says it is a language that has undergone a process of standardization where its natural variation has been what?
Reduced.
Are you guys listening to what we're saying?
The subject of a perspective.
Oh yeah.
Come on. 403 years and I give a shit about your respect?
They don't care about that, y'all. It's like the boys in the hood. Remember what Ice Cube said? Either they don't know, it don't show, or they don't care about the boys in the hood. I'm telling you guys, they don't, it's not happening. Okay, folks can see us on Instagram. I am getting feedback that we can be seen on Instagram. Thank you so much, Mr. Kefele. But people can't see us on there. There you go, Vike. Damn, that's sad. And this is a hard conversation.
Yeah, it is.
This is why we said it's not going to make you feel good, because we really like what these attorneys, like here, let me just show this little clip right quick, Cheryl. They sound real foxy up here, right? Here we go. Here they go.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are thrilled to be presenting a timely webinar entitled Good Hair, Bad Hair, a discussion about the C.R.O.W.N Act and discrimination, sponsored by the ABA's Section of Civil Rights and Social Justice and Young Lawyers Division. This panel is one of many in a series of a rapid response.
What y'all doing? What y'all doing? I'm not an attorney. I hope if a legal professor or scholar or an attorney or a lawyer, if you are watching this and you want to come on the chat, by all means, please drop your email of how we can reach out to you in the chat so we can come back and have this discussion, because I'm not understanding why would an attorney let some natural hair enthusiasts. This how I know that this natural hair movement is a cult. I'm sorry. I know I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. This is how I know the natural hair movement is a cult. You have people who went to school to get a JD and a PhD in law and did not use all of their scholarly, whatever you want to call it.
It's called critical thinking. Okay. American history, plantation history, codified history, understanding what phobia and class. You are in a class system. Understand that. Understand what Afrophobia is really about. Understand it. They are not. First of all, and maybe my brother, Mr. Kefele, maybe you don't understand or remember the 1965 movement to 1973. Maybe you don't remember it. Your natural black, Afro thick, nappy, coily, Afro made everyone else in the world want it. And they wore it. Cuba, Caribbean, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Canada, everyone in the world wanted to have a big Afro. Angela Davis ass, big ass Afro. You wore it on the news, ABC, CBS, NBC. You wore it everywhere.
All right, now here we go. Kafele say,
understand.
All right, here we go. Kafele say, I'm hitting that link. Finally, this is what we're talking about. I'm gonna let him get himself together. He's ready to come into the link. And if you want to join the discussion, it's time to have a different conversation about that Crown Act, because you guys know, as Cheryl puts it, it's soft, it's wet, and it's pink. You can take it from there, or what we're talking about, codified language, okay? I'm telling you right now, it's not working. It cannot.
Well, let me just say this. Anytime corporate want to touch it, you know it's soft, wet, and pink.
Right, I knew it was.
Procter & Gamble, no, is it Unilever? They jumped their asses right on the shit.
I said, no, it ain't. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I saw where they was going with it, but I said, it ain't going to be enforceable. Before I even knew all of this stuff, I'm just waiting for Kafele to get himself together. But as he does that, Kafele, I'll bring you in as soon as I see that you're together. Let me just present this. One of your bosses didn't like your hair. Hold up. What'd she say? Well, here you go. Well, one of my bosses didn't like my hair in its curly state when she went natural. And she ain't got to like it. Like she said, it ain't against the law. This is sad but true, guys. It is not against the law. They don't have to like your hair.
And by the way, my ancestors broke their back with their life consistently for 3 centuries. I don't give a shit if you like it. I don't give a shit if you respect it. And it ain't my job to create no world where you can respect some shit. No, I have earned the Constitution. I have earned the First Amendment, and I have earned the right to make amendments to something what we call, what Kamala says, the promise of America has yet to fulfill it. And that's why we keep voting, because we make it keep its promise. That's the point.
All right. Well, without further ado, I see Kafele is ready. I see his wigs. Come on. All right, here you go. Wike said, take a moment out right quick. And she says, give Cheryl a big fat round of applause. And like we said, we gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? Like what your mother say, this gonna hurt me more than this gonna hurt you. Okay, but we gotta have it, and we're not scared to have it. We're not the only one. So Kafele, I'm about to bring you into the chat right now, because Kafele said he has something to say, because Cheryl is kind of off kilter here. So here we go, Kafele. Here you go. What up, brother Kafele?
What's up? God damn! What you doing? Where your camera at?
There it is. There you go. It's getting hot in here. I am getting so hot that I can't take my clothes off. It's getting hot in here, y'all. Kafele has come into the chat. Kafele.
First of all.
I'm about to do my mic. We came with the first of all. Cheryl, Kafele, we got our little process shit going on. Hit him, Kafele. Knock us out the box.
What?
First of all, I love y'all. Dr. Cheryl, what's your astrological sign?
Come on now, you know you shouldn't even have to guess, baby. I'm an Aquarius to my heart.
Oh, Jesus.
There you go.
So first of all, I don't want to fight.
Well, you shouldn't have brought your ass in here now.
Okay. Well, shit.
But absolutely. Go ahead.
No, because Dr. Cheryl.
Yes, sir.
My respect for you is beyond what you think it is. But
come on, King of Lots, say what you got to say.
But I'm down to challenge your shit.
All right.
But can we do it on a not yelling conversation?
Go right ahead.
I know how you get passionate.
Oh yeah, me too. And I know how you get passionate, so don't be trying to set my ass up. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
He said, sure, don't be so animated. Just calm down, Negro.
So
go ahead.
So let's take it from the top.
All right. First of all,
the C.R.O.W.N Act. I do believe that there is hair discrimination. I have different perceptions and different perspectives. I don't feel that all hair is equal. I feel that natural hair, our hair, melanated hair, is the most strongest hair on the planet, the most versatile hair on the planet, the most misunderstood hair on the planet. And the C.R.O.W.N Act is just something that was put in place because there is hair discrimination. People will not hire you or not let you advance in certain situations because of your hair. Natural hair creates an energy that makes other people and our people uncomfortable. People look at my hair, they look at Jay-Z's hair, and they don't have an understanding. So it's like when a child has autism or a disability, you may laugh or say something out of order because you don't understand. And that's the way it is with my hair, the way it is with Jay-Z's hair, and our people as a whole who hesitate to have the courage to wear their own hair. So the C.R.O.W.N Act is just something that's put in place to help try to regulate it. But you can't, because people are going to be in discrimination whether they want to be. But I don't want to, the people who worked hard and put it in place, I don't want to lessen the energy around that and devalue what they done. But there are people who support the C.R.O.W.N Act, and there are people who be C.R.O.W.N acting. I'm in support of the C.R.O.W.N Act. I don't really know how you can stop someone from not hiring you because they don't understand locks or natural hair, coily hair, kinky hair scares them. But that's just the way of the world. Dr. Cheryl, I wanted you to say something.
Can you tell me what is the definition of hair?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and you can tell me in 10 seconds, right?
I can do it in 3.
Okay.
Protein.
Okay. Is that race-based?
Are you asking me? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It can be.
No, not can be. Is it race-based?
Is hair race-based?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
Is protein have a color?
It does not have a color.
Okay. Does cats have hair?
Yes.
Does dogs have hair?
Yes.
Okay. What else has hair? Every human on this planet, right?
Every mammal. Yes.
Okay. Now, my point in asking you that, but of course, sir, that was not what you were talking about, was it?
No.
Was it? It wasn't. That's not what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what Key Lolo's talking about. That's not what our ancestors were talking about when they could not do something because of the way they looked. That's not what you're talking about, is it? It is specific to a class of people. Am I correct?
I don't know about a class.
Okay.
I know about it's specific to a people.
Exactly. And it's specifically to a class of people has a consensus marked of either African descent or African American. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And those people have certain experiences like no other people on earth, in any democracy on earth.
That is correct.
Okay. So at the end of the day, because I love you and you love me, I do not want you to screw around and find out because I want to be so ambiguous. You have an exceptional relationship in this country. You are not like everybody else. They are not like us, and we are not like them. You have experienced, and your people and everyone who looks like you have experienced something weird and freakish called racism, prejudice, capitalism, Jim Crowism. You do not just completely just have hair discrimination. You cannot wear anything with your hair that is going to be satisfactory to a ruling class called what?
White people.
America. So when you create words and languages and linguistics, and you do it without the intrinsic knowledge and the history, and you don't put in the certain kind of sensitivities and connect them to your antebellum and Southern Confederate and this, and you don't put it in the container that it is talking about. When you go to the courts, you are not going exceptional. You're making yourself like everyone else. And you already know that my hair texture, and hair discrimination ain't got shit to do with that black people are under also the First Amendment.
So pause. So pause right there. I know for a fact that is where the breakdown is, Kafele. We're out of that. We're out of that Constitution, and we are into, like Cheryl said, this emotional stance around something that you guys deem so serious, and we're overlooking the fact, like she said, we're American citizens. We're not just a race. Remember now, I don't know what year it was, but I believe it was in 1641 that they invented. We got to keep in mind this whole race thing is invented. It ain't like you gonna step onto the continent of Africa and all the people have hair that looks like mine, yours, and Cheryl. It's so many textures represented. That's number one. Number two, everybody's an African. So, okay, here we go. Come on, go. There we go. Go ahead.
We're not talking about culturally. We're talking about genetically. That's what
we're talking about genetics. Yeah, thank you. Genetics. Go ahead, Kafele.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
He was about to get us. He was about to
get us. Come on, get me, Kafele. I ain't scared.
But Dr. Cheryl,
yes, dear.
After you said all of that, how can it not be discrimination?
Well, but no, sir. Don't conflate it. I didn't say it wasn't discrimination, sweetness. I said it wasn't hair discrimination. Make sure that you're clear about that. I did not say it wasn't discrimination. I didn't say it wasn't bias. I didn't say it wasn't prejudice. I didn't say it wasn't bigoted. I didn't say it wasn't hatred. I didn't say it. But at the end of the day, it's still when you create dumb ass codified language like protective hairstyle, okay? And you create a C.R.O.W.N Act that says creating a respectful world. When are black folks going to start using the goddamn language that's going to give your ass the big goddamn dance in the big brass ring? When are you going to start just say it?
But Dr. Morrow, there is no other person, no other people on earth where their hair is discriminated.
I
said it wasn't. Hold on, let me back up because you get so upset he can't handle it. Let me say it to you soft, wet, and pink. Okay, you ready, Kafele?
I'd rather not do that.
Here we go, Kafele. The problem that we're having with the C.R.O.W.N Act is the language. When you say words like natural hair, you're not being, very staunch in the position. The power is in the Constitution. It is not in the language, because you got to look at, Kafele, who you are speaking to. When you're talking to me and Shanae and Oprah and them, you can say natural hair. But in America, you have to go with the language, the true language, because that's what the judge said. The judge was like, no, ma'am, y'all going back with that. He actually gave them a little hookup, to be honest. He didn't have to tell them. He could have just said, nope, now get out. No. So you guys have got to use the language, which is the law. You got to use the right language. Natural First Amendment. Can we pull it up, Cheryl?
What's the right language?
Here we go, Cheryl.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. Why won't the Crown Act ever give or render or accumulate any positive winning case law? Why hasn't it? It's 2019, God damn it, it's 2024. Why hasn't it rendered any winning decisions? Why?
I can't answer that.
Well, I can.
This is why. Oh, I'm sorry.
But go ahead.
Here we go to First Amendment. Here you go. This is going to help you out, Kafele. Let me just mute your mic just a little bit because you're fidgeting here. Okay. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or sorry, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just mute that. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I muted them. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right to peaceful assembly and the petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Okay, get to the amendment where it talks about freedom of expression.
And that's going to be that's an amendment. Hold on, wait a minute, Cheryl. Hold up. Oh, wait a minute, Cheryl. Okay, so now we have that. That's going to go into your human rights, Cheryl. That's where you're at with that one. Right. Mm-hmm. So here we go. We're walking you guys through this just a little bit. Human Rights Act legislation. Here we go.
Yeah, you can just Google the amendment.
I got you right here. No, that came up civil rights. Let's see. Hold up. Let me go back. Here, let's just use this one for sake of time. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get, okay, here we go. Stop screen. Present. So here we go, Kafele. We're just working our way over to kind of help you with why the language is so important. So here we have it right here. Per Cheryl, you get into that First Amendment, it moves you over to the human rights. Human rights is a set of international and federal laws that protects the rights of all people, regardless of their status. Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, and religion.
Right. Well, and I think that and I wanted to deal with the part of the First Amendment that deals with a public schools, a religious covering religious regalia. Okay, that all falls into the First Amendment, and well, you basically had it there. Now, and it is section, I think, 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1965, where that I want people like Mr. Kafele. I want people who like Wike. I want people like on Instagram. I want people who work for the Reverend's design team and in California. I want you to experience the full extended of your constitutional rights as an American citizen, because your ancestors or great-grandfather, grandfather, or great-grandmother, or whatever the case may be, did not get them. So I want you to experience the promise of America. But one of the things that we have to do, we cannot use codified language that puts us and sets us back, that we don't understand, that we do not want to be reduced to a subject of perspective. We are Americans. We want the full extent of citizenry. That's what we want. And so I am saying that if you're going to say, well, there is discrimination, we'll call it Black folks, nappy hair, textured hair discrimination.
That's it. There you have it.
Won't that say it?
That's what it says. That's going to help us out.
Right. So when you go in the courts, you can show a progression, not only just a progression, but you can also show a 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, year 2000. Now we're up to 2024, and we still have got this lazy intellect in our laws, in our bills, because we know we probably can't get them passed if we don't.
Right.
Damn that. If it's Afro-cultural, continent, black, nappy, lock, whatever it is, call a thing so you can get it done.
That's just that simple. And what you can also do to help get it done right now is Cheryl, show them what they need to do right now to help change the narrative about what's wrong with the C.R.O.W.N Act. Here we go, guys.
Pump me on, pump me on.
All right, so we are an hour and a half in, and again, we are talking about what's wrong with the C.R.O.W.N Act. Kefele has went on ahead and hit that link to join us, and so as we wrap this up, Kefele, Cheryl is saying we're not knocking that it's discrimination. We ain't saying that, but it's the natural hair. That soft, wet, and pink terminology is moving us further away from how we really need to hit that nail on the head. And she said, just go ahead and call it nappy hair Black people nigga discrimination, okay? So that's what we're saying. You know, go ahead on and call a thing. And Kefele, the king of block, says, not a bad idea. Kefele, anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
I totally agree.
Well, let's do it. Stop bullshitting with it.
But
what do you mean, but? Okay, all right. Good night.
But and me and you are different.
Mm-hmm.
But we're more the same than we're different.
I agree.
And if me and you were in these conversations, then the conversation would be different. But first, when it comes to kinky hair and natural hair, Black men are not invited to these conversations.
Well, I tell you what, since you want to be so big and bold and get your ass on this podcast with your girls, but Black men are not even written into the C.R.O.W.N Act
or the Constitution.
Well, yeah, you are. You had constitutional rights to vote 100 years before Black women. We won't go there. Anyway, I will say this. Look, come on, Black men, wherever you are, because here we go again. We need you into the conversation because you also relaxed your hair 50 years before Black women did. Okay?
Yeah.
And so Black men have always, you wore makeup, you wore heels, you was in theater, you did all that. You was in drag, you did all the shit because women couldn't do it. My point is that, sir, our industry, how many years you have accumulated, you are experienced. You are also, your ass got to write the book. Now, the last time your ass was on here, you were supposed to write the book, sir.
Right.
If we don't write them, if we don't do it, well, the conversation's not going to ever change.
Well, we're going to help Kefele with the book, but Kefele, you are getting mad props in the chat. Everybody is appreciating you so much for joining us. I'm glad you came in the chat because that means, you know what, you have a point, you have a voice, we need to hear it. So brothers, you heard it from another brother. It's time for y'all to get into the discussion and help us change the language. We are not anti the C.R.O.W.N Act. We are anti the language that they're using, which as Cheryl said, right now, we have to admit, to date, they have not been able to enforce the C.R.O.W.N Act. And in our hearts and in our minds, we feel that we're not using our American moniker in that language. We're not using our American rights, our constitutional rights, and we're getting too caught up into our emotions when it comes to this thing about quote unquote natural hair, which I'm going to say before we wrap it up, I don't like it. I think it's nice to call a hairstyle a natural hairstyle because you want to get paid. You got to use something. You know, you call it a doobie or like it's just called color blocking. I don't have a problem with you calling it that to, you know, make some money if that's what you want to do. I mean, who the heck am I? But in a legal sense, no. The natural hair thing is just, I think it is softening because we got a more powerful statement if we could call it what it is. It is a discrimination. It's nappy hair discrimination. It's nappy hair, Bantu lock, braid.
Wait, because when Peaches and her, when Peaches wore her cornrows and Venus and Serena, stop just saying that shit ain't just they hair. Then it wasn't just they hair. It's a black face in that shit.
It's just that simple.
It's
all right.
Afrophobia.
That's right. It's Afrophobia. That's another thing. We got to stop saying discrimination and call them on the carpet. It's the fear of Afro, and Black people got fear of it too. We see it. This is not just a Black thing in the regards of Afrophobia. But we appreciate you guys so much. This has been a very powerful discussion. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come back on Thursday over on Planet Pluto Pseudo. And this time, Cheryl is going to give you her version of the C.R.O.W.N Act, affectionately called C.R.O.W.N Act 2.0. All right. So there you have it. We thank you guys so very much for joining the discussion. Also, just a friendly reminder, in case you are not aware, Cheryl and I would love to invite our fellow cosmetologists to join us here at the Houston Beauty Under One Roof. This is the hair show that's going to be taking place. Texas State Association of Beauty and Culture. It's their 80th convention. And so we are going to be there on Saturday as well, but also Sunday, October the 6th. And we're going to be having our podcast live. Then on Monday, October the 7th, we're going to be discussing the C-suite out of our Afro Hair Science Summit. And so this is a little excerpt of that. We're going to be focusing on C-suite, retiring or transitioning, elevate the business of beauty, because that's their theme. Beauty under one roof. It's all about elevation. So here is Cheryl. She's going to be there. Again, we're going to be there over the weekend. Then Lolo. I'm going to be there, okay? And so there you have it. Rest in peace, Tito Jackson. We're gonna miss you, Tito. And then don't forget, Waverly Willis and I, we do have our Hair Pros voter for engagement. We are passing those flyers out. And again, that's to help educate, empower our business owners with some information about voter engagement. And on the flip side, we got some information about how they can do that. And then last but not least, make no mistake. Oh, I hit the wrong clip. We are voting for Kamala Harris. At least Cheryl and I are. We don't know what y'all gonna do, but Cheryl and I, we're going to vote for Kamala Harris because if you think this is a joke, I hate to have to do this, but Cheryl, I gotta just do it one more time, right, Cheryl? I got to. I know they ain't gonna, like, y'all trying to scare us. We not trying to. I don't believe in scare tactics, but we would be remiss if we did not remind y'all. Project 2025, it's a conservative promise. And Cheryl just told y'all what they're trying to conserve. Make America great again.
And let me, and here's some trivia. What was the symbol of America before Uncle Sam? Don't cook it up. Look it up.
All right, hold on, guys. Before we get out of here, anybody want to try to take a stab at that? Thank you so. Oh, Wike said the eagle.
Oh,
hold on, Wike.
Wike, try it again. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. Come on, Wike.
What was the symbol
of America
before Uncle Sam?
Go to images.
Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Still Cheryl on to something. Oh, no, that's okay. No, Wike, you wasn't way off though. You wasn't. All right, here we go. What was the symbol of America before Uncle Sam? There you have it. Am I right, Cheryl? Lady Liberty?
Her name, America was called Columbia. And Columbia is a female name of Columbus. So America was actually a female.
There it is.
And
Lady
Britain,
Columbia.
And Britain was called Lady Britannia. Shortened Britain. Changed to the male tense. My point is that she's back, and Miss Kamala Harris, let's do it. This is going to be our first female president. We're actually behind the rest of the democracies of the world. America actually was a woman.
Here it is. I think they think we're making it up. But she said, don't cook it up, look it up. You're only going to have this conversation on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Nobody is giving it to you straight up, rough, rugged, and raw. Okay, here we are. R-A-W.
Manifest Destiny.
There it is.
Woman.
Yeah. Before Lady Liberty, there was Lady Columbia, America's first national mascot. I think we want to put that down just in case some people forget about there. You talk about Make America Great Again. Whoop, whoop.
There you go.
There it is. Okay, there it is. All right, guys. You know, that was powerful, Cheryl. I wasn't ready. Weekend, and I was like, oh, sucky, ducky, quack, quack. I'm with you. Here you go, Luana. Wow. Bang. Hold on, Cheryl. We're going to go ahead on
and what does the capital call itself in America? District of what?
Columbia.
Okay. So they still recognize her. Absolutely. Come on, y'all. And that's where Miss Harris is going to be. Madam President going to be in District Columbia, a city dedicated to Lady Columbia. Makes sense to me, baby. You can't make it up, baby.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. We appreciate you all so very much. Come back and join us on Thursday, and we are going to have a very candid discussion about Cheryl's version of the C.R.O.W.N Act, which is going to be called the C.R.O.W.N Act 2.0. So, Kafele, we thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. Thank you on LinkedIn, and then also on Instagram. We appreciate you all support. Don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? It's about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love. And for sure, it's always about a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you don't have it, don't want it, can't stand it, hell, you plan on cutting it off, you can't grow it, you got a couple of bald patches, we say don't even worry about that, because all of that is beautiful too. And so are you. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Monica, for letting. She says, don't forget, everyone, hit that like button before leaving the show. So thank you so much, Monica. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Monica.
All right, guys. Okay, Monica, I'm about to call you, so stay by your phone or text me or do whatever best friends do. I love you guys. You're all the best. Cheryl, I love you. You know what? You all that.
I love you too, Kilo.
I don't care what Monica said about you. Okay, Monica.
That's right. Well, I know you're going to give me the Monica critique after you get off the phone. Tell her, Monica, I'm going to get it done. We're going to get this done.
All right. Okay, guys. Y'all make sure you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. Okay? Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed her. Dang! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.